What is going on, y'all? It is the Caveman. I'm here with Football with Oz Austin for episode 24 of Against the Blitz. And we have a very special guest joining us for this episode. We're doing a mock draft, and we're being joined by the one and only DeanoTalksSports. This is a highly anticipated episode. We're happy to have you on. So thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me on. I'm a huge fan of the podcast. I'm a huge fan of both your guys' work. I was on a trip for like 9 days, not thinking about football. Just came back. I'm excited to get into football and mock drafts.
Yeah, so make sure you're checking Deano out. He does excellent work. All of his socials will be down in the description below. So absolutely highly recommend following, checking him out. You'll hit the follow button the second you see his stuff. So that's like a near guarantee. You might, honestly, you're probably familiar if you're watching this.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
All right. We're doing a mock draft. Deano has the honors of doing the first selection. I'm going second, and Austin is going third, and etc. We are going to be offering up trades. There might be some live negotiations that go on, and this isn't a prediction mock draft as far as sitting in the shoes of actual general managers. We are the general managers, so we're going to be doing what we feel is the right move, which could lead to some very interesting, potentially controversial, potentially stupid selections throughout the first 32 picks. So this should be fun. It should lead to a lot of differentness.
Differentness is the word I would use for sure. It's going to be a different type of mock.
All right, first on the clock, the Tennessee Titans, a.k.a. Deano. You have a choice here, and it could be Cam Ward, it could be not. I guess it all depends on how much you value him, so take it away.
So I'm fully aware that the Titans are going to pick Cam Ward on draft night. That is what's going to happen. Would I personally pick Cam Ward on draft night with the first overall pick? No, considering there's a player named Travis Hunter, out there on the board, potentially the greatest college football player I've ever watched. He's kind of insane. But we are doing trades, and there is a certain team that's desperate for a quarterback. So I'm excited to see if he reaches out and offers me something.
Well,
actually two teams. We both could do it.
I'm the keeper of the New York Giants, and we are a little bit interested in the first overall pick. I still think that Drew Lock's not quite as good as Will Levis, so we might need a quarterback a little bit more desperately. So, what are you thinking trade-wise for that first overall pick?
At least 2 firsts. That's the start. At least 2 firsts. Is the first overall pick we're talking about.
This truly is. You know what? I think you've talked me into somebody else, actually, not with your whole spiel. You know what? You might have to you might have to make a decision first overall. Like
I know my decision. I know who I'm picking.
All right, I'm going to be a coward. Go ahead and pick first overall. I'm going to be a coward.
And with the first overall pick, what I would do is I would select Travis Hunter. So I would take Travis Hunter here.
Wow. Very good. I appreciate that so much.
He is.
I just wanted to let you do that because I saw the Browns were available next, and I was like, they might take him. So you know what? Travis Hunter is yours.
Yep. Travis Hunter is just that good of a football player. He's aged like wine through this draft season. I was already a massive fan of his at the start. And as it's kept going, as I've kept watching the film again and again and again, he's so special, such a special football player. I get it. Most likely not going to play both sides of the ball at the NFL level. He's probably going to have to choose one. There's also just the possibility that he's the first player to ever do it, right? Like in the back of your head, that is.
Yeah. I mean, like we just had Shohei Ohtani. Like no one pitched and hit for like 3 decades. And then Shohei Ohtani comes in. No, he can't do it. And then he does. I know football is a little different, but like Travis Hunter just did it at a high level. So maybe he's not like 100% and 100%, but like even like a 60-40, 70-30 would be stupid.
It would be insane. It'd be insane. So my pick is Travis Hunter.
They say it's never been done till it's done. Like you're never late until you are late. So, hey, you never know. Would you, as the Titans general manager, are you playing him on offense? Are you splitting him?
I've said this since really the end of the college football season when draft season started. I view him as a receiver. I think he is so special as a wide receiver. So I would be taking him to do that. And if I can play him on defense too, if that works out, that'd be great. But I want to be able to play receiver.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I haven't even like when I'm doing my top corners lists and stuff like that, I don't even think of Travis Hunter anymore.
Exactly.
Like it's just he's just a wide receiver. He has ball skills that are second to none. Like the way he can bend and twist his body at the point of attack is like
he has magnets for hands. Like he doesn't drop anything. If it touches his hands, he catches it.
Yeah, so a guy like Will Levis could benefit from that.
And the cool thing about Hunter too is even for both corner and receiver, he's not like refined when it comes to technique wise. He does a lot of stuff well, but there's a lot of meat on the bone for one of the better athletes I've ever seen. And that's just so exciting. So,
yeah, I like the pick. I mean, I know the Titans general manager would never have the balls to roll Will Levis back out there, but I like it. Yeah. I think he should. He's a first year guy anyway, right? They just fired Ron, so yeah. Hey, you probably have more rain than him. Well, that brings the Browns on the clock. This makes the pick very easy for me. I've had this conversation with Austin a couple times now. The Browns need something exciting. I find it absurd that they could pass on Shadur Sanders at 2 just because there's just nothing to look forward to in Cleveland right now, or really there hasn't been since Baker. So they just need something to be excited about. They need some sort of path. You know, Myles Garrett's 30. I can't imagine you're keeping him, paying him, and, you know, going through all that trouble just to, you know, have a quarterback that is maybe Kirk Cousins at best. It just doesn't make sense. So I, of course, have to take Cam Ward here. It feels like a no-brainer to have him fall in my lap.
Yeah, that's completely fair, actually. So, go ahead.
I'd just say I think I'd argue too. The Browns getting a quarterback puts them much closer to winning something than, like, let's say the Titans would right now. There's a lot of holes on that Titans roster. This Browns team, if they did have good quarterback play last year, is probably a pretty damn good football team. So it just makes a lot of sense for them to pick their quarterback here.
Yeah. I mean, my man Jacoby Brissett had that team kind of rolling for a little bit.
He did.
Come on.
He did.
Yeah.
Who are you going with, Mr. Giant?
Well, as we know, my rule is do not let Tyler Algier keep you from drafting Bijan Robinson. So we're not going to let Kayvon Thibodeau keep me from drafting Abdul Carter. We are taking the best defensive player in the draft if Hunter is a receiver. So Abdul Carter, you're coming to New York, buddy.
Yeah, it feels like a slam dunk too. You
absolutely.
You gave us a very easy choice these last couple of picks. You know, the first pick made it interesting, but now you're on to New England.
Ooh. Yeah, now I'm on to New England, and this pick is pretty simple for me. I do think when you have a young quarterback, you should surround him with a good offensive line. So I'm taking Will Campbell here. Whether he plays tackle or on the interior as a guard, I'm comfortable regardless. I prefer him on the interior, I think, but they need help everywhere along that offensive line. So
it's so bad.
It makes total sense to draft. He's not the best offensive lineman in this draft for me, but the best offensive lineman in this draft to me has some major injury concerns. So go with the safer pick in Campbell.
Yeah,
go ahead. I was just gonna say, if is tackle a pick for them almost no matter what? Like if it's up to Carter or if it's up to Campbell or maybe Membu or whoever else is on the board, is it the lineman or is it Carter still?
That's so tough. I think if Carter's there, I think I'd have to take Carter. I think if Carter fell to 4, you'd have to take him, but you can't go wrong taking a Membau or a Campbell here.
Yeah. I mean, because he can play left tackle or left guard, and I think their left tackle is like Vidarian Lowe, and their left guard's like Layden Robinson. Like they're trash either way. So even if he somehow fails at left tackle, you have possibly a Pro Bowl level guard. So it's kind of a 2-in-1 insurance pick there too. I love that.
Well, that brings me to Jacksonville. I mean, obviously Mason Graham has been the no-brainer selection for every single mock to ever exist. I think there's a reason for that. I mean, he's the best interior guy. They have holes, but they have one glaring hole, and that's why Mason Graham fits just so perfectly. They could use another receiver, but my issue is I'm not sure I mean, if Tet's the guy, is Tet the guy to go there and play opposite of Brian Thomas? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not. I think Tet is closer to the rest of the class, and I'm not taking any of the other guys as high either. So potentially a trade out, but I think you'd be kind of turning a blind eye to the talent Mason Graham is. So that kind of feels silly. Whether I want to, whether they want to, it just feels like an easy choice regardless.
Yeah, I've never mocked anywhere. I don't think I've ever mocked anyone else to Jacksonville other than Mason Graham. it just feels so natural because I'm such a Mason Smith hater.
That, I am too.
I can't let him see the football field ever again.
No,
no,
not at all.
That was like a Trent Baalke masterclass, and now that he's gone, we can get like a good player that doesn't have great length. Finally,
exactly.
But this is so beautiful to see.
Raiders.
I am not envious of having to select for the Raiders. Are there any callers first off? Because I don't want to pick here.
Let me see.
Oh, man, any callers? I got.
Hey, Chicago. There's a running back.
I'm thinking about it. What would you? What are you looking for?
Anything, to be honest. I don't want to make this decision. I'll take a second too. I don't even need another first. I'll take a second.
Just a second, just to not make the decision.
Literally, yeah. I'll take Tyreek Stevenson off your hands after he just blew the Hail Mary.
I think I'm gonna sit. I think I'm gonna make you make this decision.
There's the really popular answer, and then there's my answer. I think we're gonna go with Will Johnson.
Ooh.
6 overall. They just got rid of Jack Jones, and their corner room is still bad. It was bad when they had Jack Jones. So, you know what? We're getting a player that I value as a top 5 player in the class. I know it's not so popular anymore, but
which I don't understand.
I don't understand that.
He's a top 3 player in the class for me. I think, without a doubt, the best corner. He's one of the better corners I've scouted personally in my short time scouting. So I love him. I was hoping he'd be a Jet, but you have taken him from me.
That would have been beautiful too. Yeah.
Wow. Gorgeous. But no worries there. If that's the case, I think I feel comfortable as the Jets taking Armand Bembao here and playing right tackle. Just playing, and even if he's not great at tackle, again, another player in this draft who I think could comfortably play on the interior with his athleticism, with everything he can do. This is Aaron Glenn, former Lion. You know he's going to want to build up those trenches. Just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, so they have Fashanu and then Max Mitchell at right tackle. Like they need the right tackle. And then I'm pretty sure both their guards are expiring contracts next season. So this is a beautiful pick.
Yeah, I've been seeing. Well, going back to the Raiders for a second, I've been seeing Genty to the Raiders a lot this last week. And I know that was a thing a couple weeks ago, and then I feel like it kind of died down, and now I feel like it's starting to pick more steam up. And I look at the defensive back room in Vegas, and it just is such a glaring need. It would feel not so much like a Tom Brady spy tech type of pick. I just think with Pete Carroll there, I don't know, defensive back. I feel like it has to be the pick. With Ashton Genty would help, but this class is too deep at running back. I like that you went with corner. But if I were to be the Jets too, I don't know. Tyler Warren was creeping up in the back of my mind a lot.
Oof.
So
I've seen it a lot. I've seen Tyler Warren.
I've seen that a ton. Yeah.
Almost like that's the consensus at this point. But I'm also just so high on Membo that I don't know. I'm in love with that pick.
Yeah, I mean, if either of those linemen fall to the Jets at 7, they have no choice.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. You're taking tight end 2 at 7. That's wild.
Tight end 2 at 7. I'm happy somebody agrees. Tight end 2.
Well, the Panthers, they need a pass rusher. I think everyone and their mother knows that. My guy here wasn't, but now is. It's got to be Mike Green. The guy might have some alleged issues, but he is so good at attacking the passer. So I feel like you have no choice but to go after a guy like Mike Green here. And Shamar Stewart, I know Jalen Walker is the popular choice, but Mike Green's ferocious. This guy is fast. He's powerful. He defends the run well. There's really nothing outside of his off the field issues that you have to worry about with Mike Green, which is of course pretty big. But I think the Panthers are in a position to kind of take a swing here, and Mike Green is my second edge. So
yeah,
it's just a plug and play.
I mean, Avero likes to blitz more than like anybody on earth. So having a guy where you don't have to rush like 5 or 6 to get home would be pretty nice. I know they invested a ton in the interior. They get Derek Brown back, so their run defense won't be as bad as it was last season. But having Patrick Jones as a potential starting edge rusher is not ideal. So yeah, I like Mike Green in that defense a ton.
Absolutely.
Saints
are maybe my least favorite player to pick for. Like a team to pick for in mock drafts.
Please, anyone. So bad. I'm going to take Jetty. I'm going to do it. Hey, Ben Johnson, Ryan Poles, you want him?
Hey, I'm not doing that.
I'm going to just go boring. I know there's an answer that everybody wants me to do, but man, Cam Jordan's gone soon. I'm going to go Shamar Stewart. He's my edge too.
Okay.
He's my edge too. I know they went the whole Marcus Davenport thing at one point, so this is probably kind of scary, but I don't know. I value him around 9th overall on my board, so I think this is just good value.
All right, then we get to the Bears, and I mean it really is that simple. This seems Ashton Janty's very good. that's my analysis here. Ashton Janty's very good. We know Ben Johnson really values his running backs. We saw that with the Jahmyr Gibbs pick 12. I think we can all agree Ashton Janty's a much better prospect than Gibbs was. That's not a slight on Gibbs either. Ashton Janty's just incredible. So it just makes a lot of sense. Take the heat off Caleb Williams. Hopefully develop a run game with that new offensive line. That's the pick.
Ashton Janty is. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna make it, but if he does, I don't think they're gonna hesitate for a second at all. No. The 49ers, though. Oh, man. No Will Johnson. You could go back to tackle. It's kind of what I was thinking. Kelvin Banks, maybe. I'm a big Donovan Jackson fan, but that would be very kind of crazy. That'd be very kind of crazy. I'm gonna hold myself back a little bit.
Do it.
He's going here somewhere at some point. Just maybe not here.
Not by me, but
by me. I will.
Not by me.
Disclaimer. You can really go. I mean, you could go with.
Yeah, the next 2 picks are tough.
He doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it's also like what happened with Ayuk. Like, it could be in the picture for that. Like, there could be a lot of. I mean, it feels weird, but it also kind of like McMillan and like Shanahan offense would kind of be weird, but like also kind of not. All right, I'm gonna keep it simple and straightforward. I'm going with Kelvin Banks.
Kelvin Banks. All right.
I feel like he had a ton of potential. Like I think he was like mocked here a ton in like December, and then people started not liking Banks anymore, and then that kind of just fell off. But yeah, I think he could still be good sitting behind Trent for a year.
Mm-hmm. Even if he plays, I mean, he could bump inside too.
Yeah, he can play guard.
Cowboys.
I hate this pick so much. Because like all their positions of need, they're just reaches. Like all of this would just be a reach.
Yep.
Literally everywhere. Ew. I don't. It's gross to look at. I'm not picking Hampton. That's not happening.
Wait. I'd be pick 16, right? I'd be the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I would not be against trading up.
I'm interested to trade back if you're looking for a certain position here.
I definitely am.
Extremely limited trade compensation. Like we are looking to get anything to make a different pick.
Right. Okay. So if that's the case, what if I gave you, of course, pick 16, and I'll give you, how would you take a 4th?
I'll take a 3rd. Next
year. That's a hard bargain.
Next year's 3rd? Is that what you're saying?
Next year's 3rd.
I can do it next year. And
I got the Clayton Tune. I don't actually want Clayton Tune.
Take another backup quarterback, please.
Anyone but him, please. All right.
Okay.
That works for me.
Works for me. All right.
I just want to get out of here. I hate 12.
So do we got
Arizona though?
So we got the trade, boom.
The Cardinals, right?
Yep. And with this pick, I'm going to be taking the top defensive tackle on my board and a top 10 player on my board, Kenneth Grant.
Oh, I love that. I love that. The only reason I didn't even do it here is because I picked him to Dallas in our last mock. So like I didn't want to be boring, but that's amazing.
Yeah. This is a team that they actually did a great job kind of rebuilding their defensive line throughout this offseason through free agency, Dalvin Tomlinson, Josh Sweat. You still have the Darius Robinson, who they drafted last year, who I was a huge fan of. But like, I think I am so high on Kenneth Grant. I think there's a world where he is one of the best defensive tackles in football. Mm-hmm. So I love it here. And hey, Dalvin Tomlinson, Kenneth Grant, that sounds like a tough team to run on.
Yeah,
so we'll
it does. I like that.
Dolphins.
Oh, I think it's me again. Yeah.
The People's Dolphins. Yeah.
The People's Dolphins. I get my own team. And this would be a dream come true for me. What's it called? Teron Armstead has just retired. We need a new left tackle. I know he has injury concerns. Josh Simmons is film-wise, head and shoulders the best offensive
OT1
draft for me.
OT1.
Without a doubt. So if we could replace Teron Armstead with a guy like Josh Simmons, I'd be I made a video yesterday talking about how I'm very pessimistic about the Dolphins season. If we got a Josh Simmons, I'd feel a little better.
Hey, I mean, I don't know if you saw his pro day footage, but that man was floating.
That's floating off of an injury. He's not even ready yet.
It didn't seem to bother him that much. Yeah, I mean, I know some people are calling for a receiver here with the whole Tyreek debacle, but Simmons is just too good. He's better than any receiver in this class.
Oh, without a doubt. That's
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Anyone left? Yeah.
Anybody that's not one of the better football players I've ever seen come out of college. He's better than
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, the Dolphins are probably, I mean, I don't want to say a lock at tackle unless they all kind of fly. I mean, they kind of have flown here, and Josh he's not typically mocked in this range. So,
yeah,
they have to go tackle. They have to. Like, without Armstead.
Unless you're like the biggest Austin Jackson and.
Oh, I'm not.
I'm not. Austin Jackson and Patrick Paul fan ever. Yeah.
Now, that is the one thing I know. Apparently, Dolphins brass is pretty high on Patrick Paul, which I see it. There's a project player there. He's got a lot of athleticism, a lot of size. Wouldn't stop me. Again, as you said earlier, what did you say? Don't let
Tyler Algier keep you from drafting Bijan Robinson.
Yeah. So
let Patrick Paul keep you from getting Josh Simmons.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Or Austin Jackson, whatever. But all right, beautiful.
Oh boy,
beautiful.
Me in a interesting spot because Tyler Warren.
He is the only person I've ever seen.
Yeah,
mocked here.
I kind of don't want to do it though.
I would take a different tight end if I was
tight end one.
I would take tight end one.
You're not a fan of continuously ramming Anthony Richardson in the back of his offensive line and just adding Warren to it.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Oh man, I kind of want to do something different. Like, is Braden Smith? I don't know. That tackle spot could get a little dicey. I mean, I know he came out and he was talking about what he's been dealing with, so it's pretty cool of him to speak on that. But business speaking, who knows if he's going to be able to stay on the field. Maybe it's not you don't address it in the first round. You could go edge. I think they still could use edge. Like, what do we got left here? You can never have enough edge rushers as a
my guy sitting right there.
You know what? I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give Indianapolis another edge rusher.
Ooh.
Tyler Warren, like, I'm trying to have a little bit of fun here. Like, everyone has seen Tyler Warren drafted the Colts. Like, let's try and up a little bit.
Ezraku and Latu is getting 35 sacks combined.
So, I mean, they need that defensive line is already good on the inside. If they just get somebody that can consistently get home, like if Latu and Ezraku click the same year, that defense, Lou Anarumo is going to make the Bengals look like the dumbest fucking organization in history.
Yeah. I am such a Latu fan. I was so big on him last year, and like he wasn't bad last year. He just didn't produce like I thought.
He didn't produce, yeah.
Yeah, but also
I was I wasn't low on Latu. He was my edge 2. I was the verse guy. I was versus my guy the whole way through.
Yeah. I had him right behind him. I was very anti Dallas Turner, but yeah, dude. Latu here would be so beautiful. And with Ezraku, God.
Just two players with really deep bags of pass rush moves.
And like I don't know how you block them both. Like I would get so tired. That would be the Tom Bahali special, dude. Their hands are so good.
They're so good.
That would be beautiful. But
Atlanta.
I mean, there's only one position I'm really looking at. I'm just trying to pick who. I think we're gonna go boring. Probably we're just gonna get Michael Williams. Atlanta just still needs pass rushers. You know, I'm not the biggest Leonard Floyd person in the world at this point in his career. And they passed up on edge rusher last year to get Michael Penix when they should have got Verse. So at this point, you know, we're taking a high floor guy. Just give me a good player in the first. That's all they need.
You're back on the clock, sir.
Holy shit. Yes, I am.
Back to back.
Arizona. I mean, he kind of feels just like a scheme fit. Jalen Walker, kind of getting used in that kind of like that attacking style, moving around edge rusher, linebacker hybrid.
Sorry, I just want to make sure. You said Arizona. You're picking for Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm picking for Dallas. Oh, yeah. Move me away then. I'm looking at Arizona here. Do not give me Jalen Walker to Dallas. At this point, actually, I'm going to go Jahdae Barron here.
Oh.
I like that.
Yeah, they lost their star. They lost Jordan Lewis, who was a very unsung hero of their defense, like a really good nickel. They need a nickel again. We're going to go Barron and play him at nickel, at least to start.
I like that.
I love it too. Stay in Texas. We've got both your picks, actually. Georgia stays in Atlanta. Texas staying in Dallas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jalen Walker would have been bad. Yeah, don't do that. I was looking at Arizona at 16.
I thought you read McMillan School at first. I thought you were looking at the screen and you were reading like Arizona for McMillan or something. But
no.
Good thing you caught that.
Yeah, good catch.
Cincinnati.
All right. Please be nice.
It's it. I think it's your pick, no, Deano?
I think it's yours because it starts.
Yeah.
Oh, it is my pick?
Yep.
Okay. Shit, I'm done. Cincinnati. Oh, man. I mean, this could be a range of things, too. Throw a dart at the board. God. I mean, in this range, a lot of the edge rushers kind of flying at this point. I'm not going Pierce here.
Thank you.
I mean, they're pretty much, they're pretty much exhausted. Oh, I mean.
There's two picks that are growing on me as a Bengals fan that I'm kind of looking at, but I don't know.
Look at the secondary, but
the world is your oyster.
Yeah, it is. Man, I might go with. I mean, they need a defensive back. Yep, I'm gonna go with. Do I go?
We scroll down so far for. Go.
I might do. I think I'm gonna go with Demon Worry. I'm gonna give.
Oh my god,
Bengals Demon Worry.
Wow,
crazy. That would be crazy.
They need help in the secondary. I think he kind of can fit with that. What Al Golden wants to do. It makes sense. It makes sense in my mind.
I'd be intrigued. I'd definitely be intrigued.
It's a big. He can be he can impact that defense so fast if he actually is good. At the
if he's good,
level.
yeah. If he's not TJ McDonald, if he's actually like Derwin James.
Yeah. The high upside, like the upside impact that the Bengals defense needs, like right now, if they want to keep contending as if they did last year. But like if they want to get back into that conversation as fast as possible, I think Eamon Worry, as far as the secondary goes and what's left, could probably make that sort of impact right off the bat. So, Eamon Worry it is.
All right. We'll work with that.
Sorry.
All right. So we have Seattle.
I don't know. I'm losing the order. But
I know.
Deano, you have Seattle, right? Or no?
No, he has Seattle, and then I have Tampa.
Okay, thanks.
So we restarted with the Bengals. That was like
okay.
Yeah, I think
okay.
So.
The fucking
trade. Is it?
I hope so.
Trade.
Here, hold on.
Yes. Because my pick would have been the Cardinals at 16, and then okay.
Yeah, then I'd be 3 again. Okay. Well, it feels wrong to go anything but interior offensive lineman here, especially with how good, like, I think with how similar the second round receivers are to the first round receivers, it feels wrong to just not invest in receiver in the second round. I'm going to go with a guy that I like more than almost every person on earth. I'm going to go Gary Zabel, that we call him. Gary Zabel, lineman from North Dakota State. I love this guy. And I feel like,
enough, he is the 18th ranked player on my big board. So
there we go.
Literally perfect.
Yeah. I mean, he's such a mauler, and I feel like for everything that they're doing with that new offense, he fits in perfectly.
Oh man, I might have taken him at like 11. Like, I'm huge on Gary Zabel.
I was kind of hoping you picked him for Cincinnati because he's so good.
He's so good.
Tampa Bay.
Oh yeah.
How creative can we get here?
This is kind of easy for me. Jahad Campbell is a top 5 player on my board. He is number 5. I love Jahad Campbell. I think he can be like a Fred Warner level off-ball linebacker at the next level. And Levante David ages like fine wine. He's going to be great next year. He doesn't have that many years left in him, I'm sure. I can't think of a better teacher for a guy like Jahad Campbell, so I'm taking Jahad Campbell.
Yeah, much better than Devin White. Campbell is. Yeah. He's going to go crazy there.
Oof. Denver. I felt like this the last time we did a mock draft, and I still feel like it now. I think Cortland Sutton's great. The signing of Evan Ingram kind of gives me Darren Waller to Giants vibes. Not as bad, but it's still they're going to count on him to come in and be this big slot, the second target. I don't like that. I don't like relying on a 30-plus-year-old tight end to be your big option for your young quarterback. So I want to steer clear of taking that same path. So I'm going to go with the receiver. And I mean, McMillan, I don't know. I feel like I have to go McMillan, but you have Cortland Sutton. Do you want kind of similar styles of receivers for Bo Nix?
He's an expiring contract, so it's like, it wouldn't be a terrible replacement, but there's a handful here.
Yeah, there is a handful. He could go Golden, could go. I like Ibuka. Ibuka's growing on me big time.
My guy.
He's really growing on me, but do you go Ibuka over McMillan is the question. I think I'm going to stick with McMillan. Give Bo Nix another big target. Somebody that's actually not a lot better after the catch than I think he gets credit for. So he can fit in that offense pretty well.
Yeah. And I appreciate not seeing a Marion Hampton at 20.
Yeah,
I see in every single mock other than this one too. So
that was not even a thought in my mind.
Yeah. Well, Pittsburgh. Well, they don't have a quarterback, so Shedeur Sanders it is. Yeah. So
I forgot.
I'm not the biggest Shedeur fan. Like I still have a second round grade on him, but like this is really good value to get him. So we're gonna get him here.
Yeah, the only quarterback who has a first round grade for me is Ward, and even that is end of first round, early second round grade. Like I'm not huge on any of the quarterbacks in this draft. So, but you're right, they do need a quarterback, and Shedeur Sanders seems to be the guy here.
Yep. I think the distance between him and the next person is even wider than it was for Cam Ward to me. So yeah, he just has to go. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck with Mason Rudolph as your tank commander again, and that just can't happen. They can't watch that again.
I saw this tweet. It was like, if they understand how to use Mason Rudolph, and they were like showing his high school stats, and it was like, it'll look like this again. And I'm like, I disagree. Okay.
Yeah, back when he had like James Washington at Oklahoma State. Yeah, please.
Dude, Steelers Twitter is just a vile place sometimes.
It's a vile.
It is vile. Steelers fans are vile people. You know, like they are just the rudest people in every comment section I have.
All right. This is easy. I think Jim Harbaugh would physically run this card up as soon as it happened. We're taking tight end one here. We're taking Colston Loveland. Michigan boy from Michigan, Jim Harbaugh's old coaching place. And again, I think the world of Colston Loveland. He's a top 10 player on my board personally. I think he is. He's not a Brock Bowers level tight end. Don't get me wrong, but he's that same kind of style of that receiver before blocker. But even then, he's a fantastic blocker. You have to be to play at Michigan. he will be slotted in perfectly to a team that is going to be very dependent on their tight ends, just like they were this year. And it was Will Dissly. We were talking about Will Dissly. We had him in conversations at some point last year. Colson Loveland is going to eat in this offense.
Yeah, that fits perfect. I mean, I just didn't expect the Tyler Warren slip, but like there's a slip every single year to somebody that the NFL doesn't love as much. And like, it feels like people are kind of undervaluing his blocking a lot. People are kind of watching his tape back and realizing he's not as elite of a blocker as people thought. His wingspan's weird.
Yeah, I mean, he's not like a way better blocker than Loveland is. He's not that far off.
Loveland has better length too. Like I feel like he could just project better in certain offenses to be a better blocker. So yeah, I love that. That's the only pick is Loveland to the Chargers at this point.
Well, the Packers have some interesting options because Warren is here. They don't play 12 personnel a ton, but I feel like they do play it enough. Josh Jacobs is obviously was their offense last year. I think a guy like Egbuka, a guy like Golden would help, but I still feel like that receiver room, I'm not going to give up on it just yet. Like it's still young. I think it obviously you don't want your offense hinging on the health of Christian Watson, but when he was healthy, it was a good offense. And obviously when that changed, everyone started questioning what the receivers truly were. Luke Musgrave has injury concerns of his own. I do think a guy like Tucker Kraft took over that role because he's a better overall tight end. He's a guy that does more of what Matt LaFleur wants to do in the trenches. So if you paired a guy like Tyler Warren with Tucker Kraft, you might never see Jaden Reed again. He might get traded if they were to draft him. Oh man, it feels kind of dumb though.
The Packers fans are gonna beat you up.
Yeah, they might, but I could see that offense like salivating, just running the ball with Warren, Kraft, and Jacobs and pounding the rock. Shit. I'm going to do it. Fuck it. Tyler Warren to the Packers. How much farther can he get? They're kind of in best player available kind of range. Yeah. So they don't have any glaring needs. So why not?
Why not?
Probably BPA.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like BPA is a guy that I'm about to take. The Harrison Smith replacement, we'll call him Malachi Starks. He's a guy that I have very high on my board, but a lot of people also don't like him at all. I think he's still better than Even Worry.
Yeah.
I have him as like my comfortable safety one. But
me too. He's my 11th overall player on my board.
Yeah, I think I got him at 9. So that's even I like that replacement. But Harrison Smith's old as dirt. They're free safety spots up in the air. I like Starks.
And it's not only that. I think there's option if you wanted to put Byron Murphy to outside corner as well, because Starks played a lot of nickel in college. And I think Starks could play that nickel role while Harrison Smith is still playing with this Vikings team. And once he eventually retires, you put Starks comfortably to that high safety spot where he probably projects better. And it looks great.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
With Brian Flores. And wow.
So then we get to the Texans. And I have no choice but to get this quarterback and offensive line. And one that makes a lot of sense to me here. Maybe it's a little high, but I don't mind it. I like Donovan Jackson here.
There you go.
There he goes.
Somebody who actually played with CJ Stroud, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit. So, and he can play not only guard, he can play tackle. I prefer him as a guard for sure, but this is a team that, again, like a lot of the teams we've picked offensive linemen for, they have holes everywhere on this offensive line. So it's really, where is Donovan Jackson going to help us most? This is what that team, this pick feels like. And it's just about protecting CJ Stroud.
Yeah. I like it. Donovan, there he goes. If I was ending up with either of those teams, that would have been my pick. That's what I was referring to, was Donovan Jackson in neither of those spots. But I didn't get him. Thank you for doing the honors. The Rams.
This is a weird spot.
The Rams.
Not a ton of desperate needs, except for really quarterback, which I'm not touching here. Corner is iffy, but I don't love the value of these corners. I'd like to trade back if possible, but not a lot of spots to really do that with. So,
let me see.
Anybody you want?
I'm looking right now.
I mean,
wait a minute. Isn't this pick?
Yeah, I think it's my pick, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's his
I
pick.
think-
is it your pick? Then you got it. Then I don't even need to do this.
I already got it wrong once, so I'm like, I'm probably wrong.
No,
again, so.
no, please,
No, I think that's his pick. Yeah.
Please make this pick for the love of God. Yeah.
Do you want to host this from now on?
Yeah, please. Good Lord. Yeah, we're all over the place.
All right. Yeah, I mean, he's right, though. It's a weird spot. There are no glaring needs. Both tight ends are gone, which could have been something that they explored. We talked about that the last time we mocked. We ended up having Loveland go here, actually, a couple of weeks ago. I mean, an edge rusher is never a bad thing either, but I just don't like James Pierce. Sorry. I kind of don't like that. But, oh, boy.
Could
look at
I know my pick here. It's a pick I made in actually the last mock draft I did. I know mine. I'm curious to see if you make it.
I have my own that I was actually gearing up to do, so I'm really curious.
I mean, it's probably got to be a defensive back, but who? Savone, Trey. I mean, I'm a big Morrison fan, but probably not above the guys that are there. I'm gonna go with Trey Amos.
Okay. Ooh,
I'm gonna stick Trey Amos back there.
I love there. He was the second guy I had in mind. I like Trey Amos.
Who are you gearing up to go with? Because you were getting ready. Schlesinger.
I was gonna go. I was gonna reach fully for Schlesinger and just because their linebackers are so bad.
Oh, so I was gonna take Jalen Walker here because I project him more as an off-ball linebacker.
I forgot he was even available.
Me too.
Yeah. That would be crazy. Yeah, that'd work perfect.
Did I change my pick? No, it's kidding. But yeah, I forgot he was even there, to be honest with you. I like that pick, though. The Rams need defensive back just as much. So
they need defensive back, probably more. Like they definitely do.
Yeah, I mean, like when I was looking at it, I was floating between Savone, Revel, Hairston, Amos. I like Amos probably more than them, so that's fair.
That would give Deano the pick. So just so we're on the same page.
Yes.
The rate.
No.
No.
I lied. That would give
Shoot him.
Okay.
Wow. Baltimore. They are a team that doesn't have a ton of glaring needs, but they have a few that they could definitely improve upon. But the ones they can improve upon, I don't know if the draft is really doing that. Let me take a quick glance. I don't like, as much as people like Tyler Booker here, I don't like Tyler Booker. Not a Tyler Booker guy, personally. I feel like we can get weird here. I think this is going to be a James Pierce landing spot. Yeah. This is usually where I like Ezraku, but he went well earlier.
Yeah.
And the Baltimore Ravens for like 5 years straight still don't have a great pass rush. So I'm going to go Pierce.
All right.
They also like guys with potential anger issues anyway. So
yeah, that's true.
It fits. Like if he's going to be in the NFL, he might as well be in the AFC.
He's an AFC North guy for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt.
Yeah. He had to go somewhere.
When it comes to the Lions, I mean, this is just a very, very complete football team. And I think they are in need of an edge rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. And I'm kind of torn right now because I know a lot of people project Jalen Walker as an edge rusher. I don't. I think he will be much better suited as a blitzing off-ball linebacker. So I'm going to stay away from that. But I do really like the idea of a guy like Nick Scorton coming off the edge opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. So I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take him.
I've been Nick Scorton's champion the last few weeks, talking about how much I just hate Mike Elko and his defensive scheme. And if you watch the Purdue tape, please, like he's so much better when his weight isn't fluctuating like 30 pounds. Like he's well worth the pick here. Absolutely.
Well, the Commanders, that also leaves the Commanders in an interesting spot because Jalen Walker, I mean, regardless if he ends up rushing the passer or playing off ball, he will have a home doing either or in Washington.
Yeah.
So it feels like that is I mean, yeah, I kind of wanted to go a receiver just because, or I'm not going to overthink it. I think Jalen Walker would be, talk about a run up the card pick. I think for Washington specifically, this is it.
Fair. Well, I have your Bills.
Please be nice.
Please be nice. I mean, I feel like a lot of their needs would kind of just be reaches. I mean, they do need corner, but I think the depth of the corner class is so solid. But I'm gonna go. We're gonna go anyways. I'm gonna do Maxwell Harrison for you guys because I can't watch Kyrie Elam type of corners out there anymore, and that the corner 2 spot's not really locked down for me. So we're gonna go Harrison.
All right.
Yeah, these last few weeks I've been going back and forth like as a Bills fan, and it's just you don't want to leave the corner 2 spot in the hands of someone that might be boom or bust.
Right.
And Harrison's like that for me.
I started scrolling down the list and like there's actually only like 4 corners left after him, maybe 5 that I would be willing. Because if it got down to like Denzel Burke, I'd be really upset. And the receivers go well into like the 3rd, maybe even 4th round. So I think we'll go back to receiver and D tackle later.
Yeah, D tackle could wait.
I'm at a tough pick here for the Chiefs because I think there's an obvious pick. Both of the players I am debating on picking are from Oregon. One on the offense, one on the defensive line.
Yeah.
The obvious pick here would maybe be to go tackle, but I also just think that what's it called? I also just think that Derek Harmon is one of the top 20 players in this class, and this is a team that has lost some. I'm taking Derek Harmon here. I think he's too good. I think pairing him next to Chris Jones, giving somebody to learn from. They lost some interior defensive line talent in free agency. It just makes a ton of sense to go Harmon.
I'm shocked he made it this far. I don't think he's going to make it this far, and
I don't think so either.
Him, I mean Walker. There's a lot of sliders here.
Yeah,
dude. And Philly, I mean, there feels like another obvious pick here. I think Walter Nolan would slide right into that defensive line, but at the same time, I know they like their impactful offensive players, and a receiver would kind of be fun. Like just adding another one,
definitely.
That'd be scary. That'd be so scary. They were good.
Horrifying. Like Buka or Golden. Like I can just close my eyes and just choose. Like who cares? Like just pick one. But Walter Nolan also, it's like they have a formula in place right now of just choosing these defensive linemen. So it's like it's gotten them this far. Are you going to like straying away from that feels a little bit dangerous? Like they have the blueprint to a successful dynasty almost. I mean, it feels like at this stage. They just have to kind of execute. So why stray away from it? I guess I won't. I'll stick Walter Nolan to the
and like I think he's such a great replacement for Milton Williams. Like he's like the exact archetype that they were missing with Milton, and now they could just get that back, maybe even better. So that's a great pick.
We have an interesting mock going on here. This certainly is not consent. This is not consent.
Not in the slightest.
Not even close. But it never will be. Like watching Michael Penix go where Jared Verse was supposed to go made me scream out loud. And I mean, some of these picks are iffy or whatever, but I don't think any of them would make me scream. So it should already be better than what we're about to watch.
What I always tell myself whenever I'm making mock drafts is there's no mock draft that would be crazier than what actually happens on draft night. So no matter what, we're good.
That is so true.
Well, gearing up for this, if we were doing predictively, I was so ready to throw in Jalen Milroe at 21.
Oh, dude, I almost I almost made it took all my power for the demons to stop telling me to take him at 28 for the Lions behind Jared Goff.
The demons, yeah.
The hype for him, it's not that it doesn't make sense. It makes complete sense, but I mean, I guess this happens every year with somebody, but why now? What happened over the last week to make people realize that, he's actually very athletic and probably has the best tools of anybody, especially at quarterback, but in the entire class, this kid has some crazy tools across every position. So what happened that had this, that gave everyone this realization? I don't get it.
People started watching more Jackson Dart and saying, he's not picked in the first round.
No, he should not be.
He should not be picked. In a regular draft class for quarterbacks, I might not pick him
Dart
to the fifth round. Yeah, I don't like Jackson Dart.
I agree. I'm right there with you.
My Milroe is my personal QB4. My QB3 is Will Howard.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, I see it. I don't necessarily. I get why there's a lot of hype amount around Milroe. In a bad draft class, why not take a swing on one of the more athletic quarterbacks we've seen come out in the last couple of years? And like, this is coming from a guy who was like, I'm wearing an Anthony Richardson shirt right now.
Oh.
Like, I love Anthony Richardson was my QB1. But I just don't feel the same way about Milroe, specifically because I think Richardson, for one, his pocket presence is so much better than Milroe was coming out of. Anthony Richardson had some fantastic pocket presence in college, and people overlook that. Milroe is, if I feel pressure, I'm going to bail. Like, I'm out. That's what's happening. And I also just think Richardson saw the field a lot better than Milroe did at Alabama in college. So I think it's even more of a project with Milroe, while also not being as crazy of an athlete, even though he is still a crazy athlete. So,
yeah, I agree. I think that there were those play, like Milroe has that 2 or 3 minute tape of like those wow plays, but Richardson, I mean, every week he was doing something that was eye popping.
His incompletions were crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
Like Milroe's got impressive arm talent for this class, but Richardson's was, I mean, generational for a good reason.
Another thing people didn't talk about a lot when that Florida team was really, really bad. That was not a good team he was on. Specifically, his receivers, Justin Shorter was his best receiver. If I'm not mistaken, he plays tight end now.
Yeah.
So, it was just not a good team around him. And even then he's still impressed, and people bring up the stats and it's like, no, I'm sorry. I don't care.
I mean, if they bring up like completion percentage and stuff, but like they don't bring up that his drop percentage from his receivers is out of this world. Like his receivers dropped like almost a full quarter of the passes that he throws to them. So
it's crazy.
Yeah, he's not getting much help from. They don't have a separator outside of Josh Downs, and that cannot be your best separator.
Which is, I really do think the Colts are like sneaky team to take wide receiver.
I almost did. I was thinking about it.
I think I expected Pittman to be a lot better than he was last year. I was like, okay, Pittman can be a low end wide receiver 1. Yeah. He's like a middle of the pack wide receiver 2 right now, which not great.
Yeah, I think for him, I think he kind of fell victim to the entire situation because, I mean, going into the year, like you said, he probably projected as such as probably a high floor receiver 1, but obviously the floor fell through for everybody. So I do think, and Downs, Pittman, Pierce is still that, like
Adonai Mitchell. There's a ton ton of. I loved Mitchell coming out. I really did. So I was a little sad that he didn't perform as well as I thought he would in his rookie season, but there's still time for that too.
Yeah, it just feels like throwing another guy in there someone's not going to be on the field that probably deserves to be.
They're in a weird situation. They're kind of like in the Packers situation where there's some there's some depth in that room. You're not worried about there being any bad guys, but there is not an elite number 1 guy on that team right now.
Right. And for a team that you would think would like to run the ball so much, just adding another one would.
We haven't even talked about Alec Pierce all that much. Alec Pierce was
my guy.
Yeah, it was him and Downs as 2 best receivers on that team last year, probably.
Yeah.
No, probably they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pittman was like a terrorist half the time.
Jesus.
All right. I mean, I don't really have too many other thoughts here. There are a lot of sliders, but there's too many to kind of even gloss over.
The only handful I would do, Golden, Hampton's pretty commonly drafted in the first. I'm not quite as big on Hampton as a first rounder. Dart, Tyler Booker, Egbuka and Connerly are the only guys that I have like top 25 grades on that didn't go. But
I am thoroughly surprised that what's it called? Matthew Golden did not get selected.
Actually, I do have a top 25 grade on him too. I just didn't really feel like he compared to the defenders that I was drafting.
Right.
But I'm a big Golden. He was my wide receiver 2 outside of Hunter.
He is my wide receiver 2 outside of Hunter. I have him as the 15th overall player on my big board. I am a huge Matthew Golden fan.
I don't know. How did he not?
It's just I don't know. It seems like the teams that think about the teams that would be drafting wide receiver here. I don't just think there's a lot. There aren't teams with big enough needs at wide receiver right now.
I debated it for Buffalo, but then I was just like, the difference between the second and third round corners versus the second and third round receivers is such a big difference that, like, I mean, I'm cool getting like a Jalen Noel or somebody in like the third round, but the third round corners might be really bad. So it was just one of those things. Like, the depth of the receiver room it's like the best part of it. So reaching on one a little bit just didn't feel good.
Right.
But I mean, great player. He's going to be so good.
A lot of trenches that way. I think honestly, it might not go in this order, but when you see a team win the Super Bowl the way they did, teams are going to want to repeat that kind of success. So I think offensive line, defensive line, and pass rush, that's going to be what this first round is. And I wouldn't be shocked if that's how it goes.
And that's where it should be. Because
exactly
if you look around the league, most of the best tackles and defensive tackles were taken in the first 2 rounds, where like you find a lot of good value in running backs and receivers later in the draft. So you should just invest a little bit early in the trenches. I think they'll start doing that this season.
Yeah.
11 of the first 15 picks were in the trenches for us. So
yeah,
just show you what we think about that.
Ball knowers. Hell yeah.
I saw someone, I don't know, Greg Costell, I was watching an interview. It might have been him, but he said there could be up to like 20 tackles taken in the first 2 days. Like there could be a ton of investment up there. And I mean, it's a good class too. So
it's a really intriguing class. I do think there's a pretty big fall off after, like, if we're talking pure tackles, I do think there's a pretty damn big fall off after Josh Simmons, at least if we're talking in regards to our mock. But there's a lot of intriguing guys. There's that guy, I can't remember his name, from William and Mary. I'm a big fan of him.
Charles Grant.
Grant. I really like Charles Grant.
Yeah.
Ariante Ursery intrigues me. I've had him go at 32 a couple times to maybe eventually take over for Lane Johnson. There's a lot of intriguing. I mean, even later, Anthony Belton. I love Anthony Belton so much.
I have Belton and Trapilo next to each other, really high on my board.
Yeah,
big fans of both.
I think Anthony Belton is going to be really good, but there's a lot of intriguing, especially after you get out of this first round, a lot of developmental project tackles that are very intriguing.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be fun to look back at mock drafts like this and compare them to when, we're really trying to predict and see which one was really closer.
I'm very excited because, as like Daniel Jeremiah said it himself, a lot of GMs view this draft as not a star draft, but a starter draft. There you can get a lot of valuable starting players. And I think when you enter a draft like that, there's a lot more room for those out of nowhere wacky picks. Like a team's just like, yeah, we really like this guy. Maybe in another draft, we wouldn't take him to the second round, even the start, but we're taking him right here because we like him and we're confident he's going to start for us.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I didn't hear him say that. That's perfectly put. Like it feels like there's a lot more higher floors and higher ceilings, and I would argue that that's just as important as a floor is just as important. So I think teams that are in need of specific things are going to go with the higher floor player, given how many there are. So I think that's why a guy like Shamar Stewart could end up sliding, or even James Pierce, who is projected to slide already. Like there are just safer choices. So
I think a good example of that from last year is the Commanders. I thought they did their whole draft was kind of high floor prospects. Do you think Mike Sainristil, Jaden Daniels himself, like high floor quarterback, 3-year, 4-year starter? They just made an NFC Championship game in their first year with a new coaching regime, rookie quarterback. So teams also, it's a copycat league. Teams look around the league at what works, and you're picking players that are going to contribute to your team immediately. That works.
Yeah, I mean, they were flamed for Brandon Coleman.
I blamed them. I hated him.
And then he was actually good. He was actually pretty good. And
I was very surprised. I had Brandon Coleman.
I thought
he was either high 200s for me or like late 100. I was not a Brandon Coleman guy.
I wasn't either. But he proved me wrong.
He proved me.
I think he can play interior too if they decide to go the left tackle route fairly early.
I wouldn't mind him playing right tackle over Wiley.
Mm-hmm. Wiley was poop.
Wiley's not good.
Wiley got poop after he left KC. That was bad.
So I think there's a world where that offensive line is pretty damn good next year with Tunsil now, Coleman going to right tackle. Hopefully they draft some more people.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think we have too many remaining thoughts, so we'll wrap it up here. Let us know what you guys think of the mock down in the comments. Deano, thank you again for taking the time. This was fun.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. This was a blast. I would love to do it again.
Yeah, definitely. We talked about having guests consistently. We just, we can't even keep this episode straight doing a mock. So we'll sort ourselves out in the future. But definitely, if you're open to it, we will be in contact. But make sure you're checking Deano out down in the comments. Like I said before, all of his social medias will be in the description. But as always, if you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, share, follow, etc. And we will see you in episode 25.